currently. So, then you got a fairy. And then another word for fairy, as far as we're concerned, is elemental, or a being of the elements. And the definition we're going to use here is a supernatural entity or force physically manifested by occult means. And that's it. And then for the homework there, you want to read the book Fairies 101, and that's written by Doreen Virtue. And that gives you a very good, and she's a doctor, and she's very familiar with fairies, and that gives you a very good base to base your initial understanding of fairies on when you're talking about fairies in reality, actual real fairies, and not like the tooth fairy or something. Then the next one is a kachina, and that is, as far as I'm concerned, a benevolent interdimensional holistic being. And that's it. Now all of these beings are interdimensional. They all have interdimensional awareness, or the capability to physically manifest themselves in other dimensions. So it is imperative for the human race to acknowledge that different dimensions exist in the process of this, so that we can benefit from information in other dimensions and also help the beings that live in other dimensions. So it's a two-way street, but we have to be aware of it in order to do that. But when you move with your investigation and ascertaining where I was born, you're gonna find out, if you do the investigation honestly and legitimately, that I was born in another dimension. So you'll have no choice but to acknowledge the other dimensions, because I'm living proof of it, and that'll really help things along with life in the universe, when they see that your awareness of the reality becomes multi-dimensional awareness. Very important. And then we'll want to avoid all actions and behavior that support a fascist structure, or that is not in harmony with the laws of nature, creation, and the universe. So, there's that. Okay, also, there's going to be preparation in regards to the shift, and what I'm suggesting is that all the preparation in the process of building the website, all this preparation goes right on the website, and so that all life can become aware of the same information at the same time. And also different dimensions can become aware of the information at the same time, and the different dimensions can also become aware that the other dimension has become aware. So this is an extremely interdimensional thing here. Synchronicity, harmony, and unity are key elements to the success of this, and also another key element to the success of this thought creation is going to be the expansion of your consciousness. Whereas with the secret government in charge, what will keep them in charge is a low level of your consciousness, and you having a low level of understanding of the reality. Whereas the saints and angels are relying on you having a high level of, or a heightened sense of things. So this will really, all the information isn't in here yet, but you've definitely been set on the right track. And once I see how the human race reacts to it, I'll put effort into whatever need be at the time. Overpopulation and underpopulation. I was asked to touch on that. This planet is not overpopulated as far as I can see. The reason why we're having trouble with the amount of people on this planet right now is because we are using the wrong form of energy. We should be using free energy devices and sources, which are all covered up. And the lack of food, and basically a lot of farmers are paid. They're paid just paper money not to plant crops. Well, when you're paid not to plant a crop and then people starve, well, that's something that has negatively, has been done intentionally with a negative agenda behind it. And what we want to do is we want to get past that negative agenda, and we want to identify the people, or the actual beings, who are paying the farmers not to grow crops, and expose them. And we'll expose them right on the website. But it's going to be very important to identify these beings so that everybody can see who they are, because they're not only targeting the farmers, they're targeting anybody who wakes up. So basically this will just be a matter of the different people in different industries just communicating honestly with each other, because when that happens, it's going to be easy to identify the people who are suppressing humanity, because it's going to be the same people who are targeting different individuals, the individuals that wake up. But until the secret government has been replaced with a sainthood, and the human race can trust the government, I would not recommend procreating in any way, because if you are born on this planet, basically you're going to be born into slavery, and until that issue can be addressed, I would not recommend procreating until the problems on this planet have been publicly and legitimately addressed. And also, what causes overpopulation is famine. Famine and overpopulation are completely intertwined, and that is something that you want to understand. Okay, so basically, and you're going to want to base all of your perceptions on a four-dimensional perception as much as you can. Everything that you see, you want to look at every angle and every dimension of everything that you can. And then I also went over here understanding the mechanics of karma, which is very important, which is already part of the course. So in the process of the shift, there's a lot of beings in the government who know what they're doing and they want the best for humanity. And what we're going to want to do is empower those beings, and the beings in the government who do not want what's best for humanity, we're going to want to expose them. And ultimately, and it's not like we're going to, I want to have anything bad happen to them, but we just don't want to listen to them anymore. And if they're obviously leading us down the wrong road, we want to expose them and just say, hey, listen, we have, if there's a saint or an angel who's willing to step up and lead humanity into a higher level of existence, then why would you follow somebody that's leading you down a road that's going to get you reincarnated? So basically that's that. So we'll want to list all the elected officials in the government and hold them accountable for their actions in the way it influences and pertains to each industry. And if the government official is doing the right thing and they're leading us in the right direction, great, we'll empower them. And if they're obviously leading us in the wrong direction and saying it's none of your business, da 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 da, well, then we just won't listen to them anymore and expose them for doing that. And then we're going to want castles. we're going to want 2 castles per country, and there's depending on your source, there's 194 countries, 195, 196, 190, depending on where you get your information and how that language defines the survey that was done on the planet. But for the purpose of this creation, we're just going to round it off to 200 countries. There's 200 countries on the Earth. And we're going to want 2 castles per country to shift the leadership of the planet. And I mean, it doesn't have to be castles. I mean, the reason why I'm saying castles is because there's 11 million castles on this planet, and they're not being, they're not being used for purposes of, preventing slavery or preventing human trafficking or preventing poverty, and they could be. So, out of 11 million, we just need 400 for the purposes of this. And then there are approximately 10,000 telepathic beings ready to go to do this.